The Death of Superman is a 2018 direct-to-video superhero film directed by... Actually, I don't know who directed this film. I don't know why I started with that. This film, as you probably guessed, is based off of the iconic comic book of the same name. This comic has been adapted into other media several times. There was an episode of Justice League where Superman died, or at least they thought he died. The 2007 film Superman Doomsday was based off the comic, and in 2016 it was shoehorned into the DCEU. Superman Doomsday is the only one of those three that was a direct adaptation of the comic book, so it's the only one worth comparing to this film. In Superman Doomsday, the main highlight of the film is the awesome fight scene between the title characters. It gets kinda boring after that. To make things worse, Warner Brothers tried to cram the entire story into only about 75 minutes. This time around, they very wisely decided to split the story up into two parts, like The Dark Knight Returns. I wish WB would do this with more of these movies, or better yet, extend the runtimes. It's kinda hard to tell a lot of these stories in only 70 or 80 minutes. I haven't seen the sequel, Reign of Superman, yet, but I can safely say that The Death of Superman is a superior film to Superman Doomsday. Despite the title, there is more in this movie than just Superman dying. The first half kinda feels like a Spider-Man movie. It is focused on Clark Kent and Lois Lane's relationship. Clark is trying to work up the courage to tell Lois that he is Superman. I admittedly haven't been following all these DC animated movies, but weren't Wonder Woman and Superman a couple in this universe? I guess they broke up. Also, I suppose now would be a good time to mention that this movie and its sequel are set in the DC animated movie universe, which is not to be confused with the DC animated universe. If you're unfamiliar, I recommend you look up each of these universes' Wikipedia pages so you know which TV shows and which movies are in which universe. I haven't seen any of the movies in this universe except for Son of Batman and Justice League War, and I honestly have no memory of anything that happened in that movie. I don't think you really need to watch all those movies in order to follow this one though. Well, I suppose Superman's death and the effect it has on other people may have resonated a bit more if you're already familiar with the prior films, but whatever. If you're familiar with the DC universe, you should be able to follow this film. As a person who hasn't seen all the other DC AMU movies, I think The Death of Superman does a good job standing on its own. One thing that this movie does pretty well in only about 80 minutes that the DCEU failed to do in over 4 hours was really establish how much of a symbol Superman is. He represents hope and inspires people. The DCEU only told us that Superman inspires people, while this movie actually showed it to us. I like this Superman voice actor. He is no Tim Daly nor George Newbern, but he's pretty good. Since I'm on the topic of voice acting, I should mention that, outside of Superman, there are some weak links in this voice cast, namely Lex Luthor and Wonder Woman. I feel like Lex's voice should be deeper than the actor in this movie. This Lex doesn't seem as sophisticated nor as dignified as the character should be. As for Wonder Woman, I don't know if the voice is necessarily ill-suited for the character, or if the voice actress just gave a weak performance. I saw the trailer for Wonder Woman Bloodlines, and it seems like voice actress Rosario Dawson does a better job in that movie. I don't really like the voice for Lois either. I can't really complain too much though, they did get Superman's voice actor's wife to play her. The voice cast for the rest of the Justice League is fine. My favorite scene in the entire movie is when the Justice League were having a meeting to discuss funding. This scene is hilarious. This is one thing that DC animation seems to always get right. Even in the movies that aren't so good, they always have at least one scene or dialogue exchange where the heroes interact and their personalities bounce off each other to create great comedy. Even a pretty dark and serious movie like Under the Red Hood had some moments that made me genuinely laugh out loud. The one thing that is off about this scene is Martian Manhunter. He looks way too skinny. I'm not really too big a fan of this movie's art style. It's like someone took Bruce Timm's sharp, angular look and went even further with it. The animation at times seems kinda limited too. I guess they saved a majority of the budget for the fight scenes, and if that's the case, I'd say it was money well spent because, much like the Doomsday movie before it, the best part of this movie is the fight scenes. It's pretty epic and a ton of fun, and beautifully animated. You feel every punch and kick, but they also make sure to show Superman actually caring for people and saving them during the fight because that's who Superman is. His eventual death carries a lot of emotional weight because we got to see how much he meant to other people. I think it might have been better if they kept Superman dead for this movie and saved his faux resurrection for the next movie, but a minor complaint. Overall, The Death of Superman is a good Superman movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out.